You see them every single day, right? On trees, in your garden, maybe even in your lunch. But have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on inside just one of those leaves? It's performing a kind of magic, really, turning pure sunlight into the energy that powers almost all life on this planet. So let's dive in and see how it works, from the outside all the way in.
To really get this, we're going to have to shrink ourselves down, way, way down, and go inside the leaf. What looks like just a simple green surface to us is actually this incredibly complex, layered city of cells, all structured for one single vital purpose. And that purpose is to answer this huge fundamental question. How does it take a beam of light, something with literally no mass, and convert it into tangible chemical energy? That's the puzzle we're going to piece together in this explainer.
Our journey starts at the very beginning, the split second a photon of light finishes its 93 million mile trip from the sun and actually hits the surface of a leaf. At that exact moment, that little packet of light has one of three possible fates.
So when that light hits the leaf, it has three choices. It can bounce right off, it can pass straight through, or it can be captured. Each one has a specific name, but only one of them is actually going to power the plant.
Okay, so here's the breakdown. Reflectance, that's the light that just bounces right off, never even gets inside. Transmittance is the light that goes all the way through, almost like a ghost, without doing anything. But absorbance, that's the one we care about. That's the light energy that gets trapped, captured by the leaf to be put to work. Now, understanding the difference between the light that's reflected and the light that's absorbed is the absolute key to answering a question you've probably had since you were a kid. Why are leaves green?
And this is where it gets really cool because we can actually see the data. This is what's called a reflectance spectrum. It measures which colors of light a leaf is bouncing back. And just look at that huge spike right there in the middle. It's reflecting a massive amount of green light.
It's really that simple, but also kind of profound, right? We see leaves as green for one reason. Their surface is basically rejecting that specific color and bouncing it back into our eyes. And that leads to the most important part of the whole story. If a leaf is throwing away all the green light, what is it keeping? Well, it's gobbling up the other colors. And those colors, the red and the blue wavelengths, that's the good stuff. That's the fuel.
And here's the proof. This is the opposite kind of graph. It shows what a leaf absorbs. The peaks show which colors are being captured, and you can see them plain as day. There's a big peak in the blue-violet region and another one over in the red region. This isn't just a chart, it's the energy profile of photosynthesis.
Okay, so we know the leaf is soaking up red and blue light, but the next logical question is, where inside that cellular city we saw earlier does the real work happen? For that, we need to find the factory floor.
And here it is. Meet the chloroplast. This tiny green organelle, and there are dozens of them inside a single plant cell, is the absolute powerhouse of photosynthesis. It's a self-contained factory that holds every single piece of molecular machinery needed for the job. And get this isn't just some abstract idea. Scientists can literally pull these little factories out of a leaf. They'll take something like spinach, grind it up in a special liquid, filter it, and then use a centrifuge to spin everything down really, really fast until they have a little pellet of pure, concentrated chloroplasts all ready to be studied.
So now we're zooming in even deeper. We are inside the chloroplast factory, and we're looking for the specific engines that are grabbing those photons of red and blue light. These engines are massive protein complexes called photosystems.
It turns out there are two main engines, and they work together like a perfect team. First, you have photosystem 2, or PSI. Let's call it the water splitter. Its job is to kick the whole process off by literally ripping electrons away from water molecules. Those electrons then get passed to its partner, photosystem 1, or PSI, the energy converter. PSI uses that captured sunlight to boost those electrons to a super high energy state, creating the chemical fuel NADPH that the plant needs to live.
So we've gone from the surface of a leaf all the way down to the molecular engines that make it all happen. After this incredible journey, after billions of years of evolution, just how good is this natural engine?
The answer is, well, it's pretty astonishing. When we look at photosystem I, that final energy converter, its quantum efficiency is nearly 100%. In simple terms, that means for every single particle of light it manages to catch, it successfully puts one to work. There's virtually no waste. It's Perfect.
And that's not an exaggeration. The source material states it plainly. PSI is the most efficient photoelectric device in nature. And the reason? Because all photons captured by PSI are used for electron transfer. Every single one. No energy is wasted.
And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? Nature designed and perfected a nearly flawless solar power engine billions of years before we ever even thought about it. It's clean, it's silent, and it powers our world. Which leaves us with one last big question. What else can we still learn from the simple wisdom of a leaf?